Actually, I don't know how to. Maybe it's free of charge.
Yeah, almost.
Do I need to turn on?
In deck. On deck. My colleague will show you how you to do it.
No, this one.
Oh, it's not a
Just one.
Yeah. So 81. Yeah. This was yes.
Oh, yes.
känns thankful for something. Most of the long walls on the church have been dated to 1070. So our theory is that the Bye.